You're the night, you're the color of my blood. You're the cure.
Jackson Galaxy may be the answer to your cat problems, but to the 49-year-old host of My Cat from Hell, these feline friends saved his life. The cat behaviourist and part-time rock musician now has a highly popular show well into its 6th season under Animal Planet. 20 years ago, before Jackson became the cat daddy, he was on a downward spiral to self-destruction. Alcohol, drugs, and food addiction ruled his life, and he weighed 400 pounds at his heaviest.
When you discover that there's other beings that depend on you, for some reason that pulled me out of it, this sort of selfish place, right? That there came this moment where I was working with the cats, but I was still drinking, I was still using drugs, and it puts this layer between you and the cats, you know, and any animals, and people, that you can't really experience people on a full level because you're high, you know. And I had to make that choice. Am I going to serve these animals, or am I going to stay high? And luckily, these guys won. And I owe them, you know, this karmic debt. I will be paying this debt for the rest of my life, because I definitely would have killed myself years ago.
I love cats as much as the next guy, maybe more than the next guy.
After getting clean, Jackson landed himself a TV show, My Cat from Hell, in 2011 and has helped hundreds of cat owners with their difficult cats. He's even authored 2 books, Cat Daddy and Catification. But as much as he loves his cats, Jackson is also a huge dog person. Although the owner of 2 dogs admits his connection with the canines just isn't the same.
Like, I'm terrible at being, you know, alpha. Like, sit, you know, like, I'm not good with that. My wife makes fun of me all the time because I'm such a bad alpha. And in terms of training dogs, I'm not as good as working with cats. But that's because I'm not good at being like a leader. Like, I'm good at being a participant, I'm good at being a translator, I'm good at being an ambassador, but in terms of a trainer, I'm not great. There's clearly something with cats that we just meet at that perfect spot, you know, in terms of communication, in terms of knowing each other. I don't know. I think that there's a part of me that is just, my energy is kind of calm and present, and I don't ask too much of them, and I allow them their space. You'd have to ask them. So why do you want to sit next to me? You smell like chicken.
He first discovered his affinity with cats 20 years ago while working in an animal shelter. Back then, he already harbored dreams of becoming a rock star, but soon realized that life had different plans for him.
When I was working in the shelter and I realized that I could be the difference between a cat dying in that shelter or going home, it was a no-brainer from that moment on. I mean, you can't forget that part of the job of working in one of those shelters is that you have to euthanize these cats. That's my job. The one who loves the cats the most has to kill them. I didn't want to make this my living. Believe me, there was no living to be made. I was a barista for years. I did lots of stuff because there was no money to be made in cats. But I just knew that I was being sent a message, basically, that you can stop these guys from dying, and that's why I did it.
Jackson's reputation has earned him many nicknames: the Cat Whisperer, the Cat Tamer, just to name a few. But guess what he wants to be called instead?
I call myself Crazy Cat Lady. I want to sort of explode that stereotype. I'm a crazy cat lady. I like saying that because that way, like, I want people to have cats. And people are so afraid that if they have 2 cats, they'll never get a date again. And that's why I'm happy to be a representative, because there's no way you could look at me and say, oh, he's a crazy cat lady. When I first started the job of going to people's houses, and half the time they'd open the door and they'd be like, you know, what is that, you know? please don't kill me, you know? Like, they never thought that someone who looks like me would be a cat guy.